session. So again, good morning, everyone. My name is Joe DiCarlo. I'm the Dean of Enrollment and Director of Admissions here at Worcester State. And let me be the first among several of us this morning to say congratulations on your acceptance to Worcester State. We couldn't be more excited to be here with you today to help you learn about Worcester State and again, help make your decision an easy one to enroll at Worcester State this fall. As a Director of Admissions, I've had the pleasure of reviewing your applications and reading your college essays. Not surprisingly, many of you chose to write about how the COVID-19 pandemic impacted your lives over the last year, from disruptions with your academics, stress and anxiety over caring for a sick one or a loved family member, added responsibilities, and even family arguments over access to Wi-Fi and computer devices. It certainly hasn't been an easy year. But no matter the challenges you face, you ended your essays with lessons learned on how you persevered through a difficult and challenging time. The stories you shared in those essays have inspired us at Worcester State to really make sure that we can provide for you the best college experience this fall. It would be an honor to have all of you join Lancer Nation. I hope you enjoyed today's welcome and the series of events that we have planned for you as part of our virtual accepted student programming. I also hope that you'll get to campus soon and see us in person. We are offering in-person campus tours if you haven't had a chance to tour campus this past fall or this spring. As a reminder, after this session, we will be hosting a financial aid information session for you, the accepted students, and your family members. It will begin at 10 a.m. and you can find the Zoom meeting link on the Congrats Day website, and that's at worcester.edu/welcome. We also have another whole series of events planned for you during the week of April 19th, focused on student resources and student life. Almost every session will give you a chance to connect with a current Worcester State student as well. I hope you'll join us. The Congrats Day website, again at worcester.edu/welcome, is your one-stop for all things accepted students. You can access on-demand video content, an interactive campus tour, a coupon for a discount to shop online at the bookstore, and you can even submit your admissions deposit online there. I hope you'll check it out. If you're comfortable, again, we'd love for you to turn your camera on so we can see who you are, and also you can connect with future classmates. Your mics have been muted. That's just so we don't pick up any background noise, but we certainly want to make sure we get to answer your questions this morning. So feel free to send any questions you have during the session utilizing the chat feature. At the end, we'll hope to have time so that we can go back and answer all of those questions for you. Today, I'm joined by three of my colleagues who will speak more to you about why you should choose Worcester State and what makes us unique from other colleges you may be considering. Additionally, we hope to set a clear expectation on what the fall will look like for you as a student at Worcester State. I hope you enjoyed today's remarks and leave excited about attending. And with that, I'd like to introduce our first speaker this morning. It is my pleasure to introduce President Barry M. Maloney for our welcome remarks. President Maloney is the 11th president of Worcester State University and has been president since 2011. During his time, he has led a transformative change of the physical expansion and academic enterprise of the university with a student-centered focus. President Maloney, his wife Laura, and their three children live right across the street from campus. Please join me in welcoming President Maloney.
Thank you, Joe, and good morning, everyone. And let me add my congratulations to everyone here on this morning's call. Congratulations. Getting accepted to college is no small feat. And I want to congratulate every student who is on the call. It's so great to see so many students who have already indicated in the chat that they are committed to Worcester State. That's wonderful. For those who are still on the fence, we hope that today's program will be the program that helps to push those decisions positively over the finish line to choose in selecting, I should say, to selecting Worcester State University, a place that as Joe has said, I've called home for almost 10 years now. We have a great program for you this morning. We really hope to be able to give you enough information throughout the morning, again, to help you make those decisions. But most importantly, we hope we also can answer your questions. I know a lot of you have some questions about the institution. And I know as a parent myself, there's a lot of things that we are wading through here in the Maloney household, as I have a high school senior myself, as well as a high school junior looking at colleges all across the Northeast, and certainly having some of the same questions. So I know that my kids said to me in advance of today's program, Dad, be authentic, just give authentic information to the families. And that's what I hope to try to do along with my colleagues this morning. Let me make a few points that I think are really important. Again, I have found, I am proud to say Worcester State is an outstanding place to go to school. However, I know that there are a lot of questions that people have on their minds, and some of those questions revolve around where are we going to be in the fall in terms of the in-person collegiate experience. And I'm happy to say that Worcester State expects to be back to where we were with the same academic format, the same co-curricular format as we were in 2019. We will continue to put our safe protocols in place, our pandemic protocols in place. And we expect that about 80% of our campus community, based on our campus surveying, will have had access to the vaccine. And so that we view that the majority of the campus will be vaccinated. We view that because not 100% of the campus will be vaccinated, we will continue to keep our safe protocols in place. The protocols that have allowed us this year to have in-person classes, on-campus activities, intercollegiate athletics, and other really important co-curricular activities that have made this year a positive year in spite of the COVID pandemic. Worcester, of course, is a community that I've called home, as Joe indicated, for the past 10 years. And Worcester as a city is a great destination city for our students. The Woo Sox are about to throw out their first pitch ever here in Worcester, and we're excited to see Polar Park open up. But Worcester is also a great city for our students, not only with the collaborative relationship that we have with other colleges and universities, but also it is a learning laboratory for our students. Students are able to get involved in internships in different companies here in the community. Unum, EMC, Hanover, just to name a few, are places that host our students on a regular basis and make that learning experience so much more than just an in-classroom experience. But that in-classroom experience is top-notch. The majority of our faculty are full-time. We do not use graduate assistants in the classroom. We have made full-time instruction a point of emphasis at the university, and will continue to do so in the coming years. That means, students, that you will be taught by people who are experts in their field, faculty who will work with you in the classroom and outside the classroom, work with you side by side in their research, and incorporate an entire academic experience for you while you're a student at Worcester State. As I said earlier, I'm not only a president of a university, but I'm also a parent, and part of what I'm looking at as a parent, as I go around campuses with my son and my daughter, are the colleges and universities that we're visiting stable institutions? Are these institutions that are going to continue to be in business? And I'm here to say this morning that Worcester State University has been here in this community for almost 150 years, and we intend to be here for another 150 more. We are the only state university in Massachusetts that has received an A rating by both Standard & Poor's and Moody's. These are bond rating agencies that rate our fiscal health. We were recently reviewed by EY Parthenon as part of a Board of Higher Education fiscal review. And again, we were one of the institutions that in the state, public institutions, that got high marks for our fiscal position. This has not been by accident. We have put a lot of hard work and emphasis to make sure that Worcester State University is a stable institution, and that we are an institution that continues to provide the necessary supports in the classroom and outside the classroom for all of our students. You're going to hear in a few minutes about some of those supports, but I wanted to say in conclusion, this past year has been a difficult one. It's been a very challenging one for all of us. We know that the learning experiences here during this past year have been things that we have learned at the university on ourselves. We like to say at times that we have been flying the plane as we've been building it. And certainly we've learned a lot about how to support our students. And we know that you as students have been challenged. You've been challenged in your high school classes. And I want to say to all of you that we have put in place over the course of the year supports, multiple supports, to make sure that students who are transitioning from high school to college will be supported. So if your challenge is financial, we can work with you on that challenge. If you're feeling that you may have fallen behind in a particular subject area, we have new programs, new hands-on assistance, new tutoring supports that are going to help our students be successful in the classroom and outside the classroom. We are not a large institution. We are not a faceless bureaucracy. We're not an institution, as I said earlier, that relies on a lot of part-time help. You will feel at Worcester State that you are important. You will feel at Worcester State that you are well supported. And for the past 10 years, we have proved that. For the past 10 years, our graduation and retention rates have gone up, and we aim to continue that progress in the next academic year. And we pledge today to do that. So this morning, I want to say to all of you, first and foremost, again, congratulations. Welcome to Worcester State University. It's a place that I think you will find that you'll be challenged, but yet well supported. And certainly a place that I think you will find that you'll be able to take your academic plans to the next level. Congratulations. I'm going to now turn the program over to my colleague, Ryan Forsythe, who will talk with you a little bit more about some of the transitional opportunities that you have in front of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Maloney, and good morning, everyone. My name is Ryan Forsythe. I am the Vice President for Enrollment here at Worcester State University. This morning, I'm going to be discussing with you the investment that you can make in yourself by attending Worcester State. So let's think about that for a moment. What makes a good investment? Well, generally, it's paying as little as possible and reaping the most benefit. At Worcester State, with our interdisciplinary major plus curriculum, the lively campus, and the focus on producing future leaders, you will reap the most benefit by attending Worcester State. But let's start with the paying as little as possible part. At Worcester State, President Maloney and the Board of Trustees have frozen the university's tuition and fees for next year. What that means is that students know now that they will have an affordable education with low tuition and fees next year. Let's be very specific. For in-state students who commute to Worcester State, for an entire year's worth of tuition and fees, the cost is $10,500. That's the whole cost of all tuition and fees for the whole academic year. If a student lives on campus, that cost is higher. For a student that lives here for tuition and fees and room and meal plan, the cost is $23,000 per year. And for out-of-state students, the cost is a little bit higher. Now, is this a small amount of money? No, it is not. It is an investment. It is a large amount of money that you are investing in yourself. But when we talk about a $10,000 education or a $20,000 education, we know that that is much less than the other higher education options that you have. President Maloney this morning talked about different institutions and where they are with the life cycle of their institutions. Some of these institutions cost $30,000 and $40,000 or more. At Worcester State, you'll receive a $40,000 education for $10,000 a year as a commuter, or $23,000 if you decide to live here. Now, that's the cost. Before any type of financial assistance that helps you pay that investment, and more than 2/3 of students receive financial aid here at Worcester State. This is grants and scholarships and work study and loans that form the financial aid that makes your education here at Worcester State affordable. Now, the only financial aid application we have is the FAFSA. If you have not yet completed your FAFSA, you should go ahead and do so at fafsa.gov. And today at 10 a.m., we have another program. It's right after this program around 10 o'clock in the morning. That program is specifically about financing your education and financial aid. So if you would like to talk more in depth about the various forms of financial aid and the process to make a Worcester State education affordable, we'd really like you to join us at 10 a.m. today. So now, why would you choose Worcester State? Remember our conversation about the investment, right? So paying as little as possible and reaping the most benefit. We know what the costs are. Now, you've heard a lot about a Worcester State education, right? You've been researching Worcester State. Perhaps you've been visiting Worcester State in a very safe, socially distant kind of way. But here at Worcester, we know that the education that you're going to have is going to reap great benefits for you. We have a flexible curriculum. We have 60 different majors and minors. For a medium-sized university, that means that you have a lot of options. And if you want to add a minor or change a major, you're able to do so at Worcester State without needing to transfer to another institution. We also know that we have very unique educational experiences here, from internships at the news stations in Boston, to the practicum experiences in the elementary schools of Worcester, to all of the business opportunities, communications, criminal justice, and other opportunities for internships and practical experiences. We know that students at Worcester State are getting a real world education while they're also getting their classroom education. At Worcester State, we have an extremely lively campus. Residential opportunities here on campus mean that approximately 40% of our students live right here on campus, while 60% of our students live close to or near campus so that they're able to commute here. It gives students the ability to be involved in the campus life, all of the opportunities for clubs and organizations, sports, and other opportunities to be involved in campus as well as getting that education. And Worcester State is the home of leadership development. Through Worcester State, we know that future leaders are developed here. We have a young man who is coming back to our campus to speak to our alums very soon, who is the CEO of his own company, making products for the world that are coming from the good place, a good place. And he learned some of those skills right here at Worcester State. Maybe it was through our leadership symposium, student government, the campus ambassadors program, or those real world experiences. Derek left here with great experiences, and you can as well. Now, I want to spend a little bit of time on something very specific, and that is something at Worcester State called Major Plus. Major Plus is what makes a Worcester State education truly different from the other college or university options that you have. At Worcester State, all new first-year students, freshman students, as well as transfer students that are in the very first year of their college education, get to complete 2 interdisciplinary academic programs before they graduate in 4 years. What that means is that in 4 years, when you complete your bachelor's degree, or fewer years if you're transferring to Worcester State, your transcript will show 2 academic programs completed instead of just 1. This makes your education broader than students at other colleges. It means that you get to fully explore multiple areas of interest, and most importantly, you'll be more marketable with 2 academic experiences, 2 transcripted academic programs when you leave Worcester State for whatever the next adventure in your life is. This doesn't take any longer. The degree is still 4 years. It doesn't mean you take any more classes. You still take 5 classes per semester to stay on track and complete in 4 years. But what Worcester State has done is we've organized your curriculum in a way to make sure you're successful. Your education is organized to assure that you have the ability to participate in 2 interdisciplinary programs. You work very closely with professional academic advisors, who we'll hear from in just a moment. You'll participate in campus activities and extracurricular experiences and graduate with a more powerful education. We know that Worcester State provides our students with benefits. We know that Major Plus is a distinguishing factor about a Worcester State education. We know that Worcester State has a residential and lively campus, and that leadership opportunities exist here. But to really get down to it, 99% of Worcester State graduates last year reported being employed or in grad school or both 6 months after graduating. Many, it was far earlier than that. That means that our students are going out and they're succeeding in the goals that they have after they leave Worcester State. Our students obtain good salaries after college, and they receive that high quality, affordable education that we just talked about. Now, in a moment, we're going to hear from our Assistant Dean of Academic Services, Tammy Tebow. Hi, Tammy. Is here to share a little bit more about Major Plus, a little bit more detail about Major Plus, and she's going to share with us some next steps to continue your education here at Worcester State. I'm thrilled that you're here today. I'm very thankful to be with you, and I can't wait for you to hear some more information from Tammy. Tammy.
Thanks, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. Like Ryan said, my name is Tammy Tebow, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Academic Services. I am really excited to be able to speak with you today and share some information about what we do in the Academic Success Center. We are an office staffed with amazing professional academic advisors who work closely with new students. Your success is our #1 priority, and we begin this mission by connecting with you at the beginning of your journey. For new transfer students, you're getting emails from us if you paid your admission deposit. You'll set up a time to meet virtually with an academic advisor and choose those classes for fall. The Academic Success Center sends emails, the email instructions to your Worcester State Gmail account. So I suggest you get that account set up and begin checking it regularly. If you're a first-year student, your academic advisor will begin emailing you on Monday if you paid your admission deposit. This email they send explains to you the entire course registration process for your first semester. This email is also sent to your Worcester State Gmail account, so be sure to set it up and check it often. First-year students, we ask you to complete a schedule questionnaire, which is available in the email that we send you. The information on the schedule questionnaire guides your academic advisor to design a well-rounded fall schedule. We ask you questions about courses outside of your major that would interest you, your favorite class in high school, and of course, what days and times you want to take your classes. Our advisors do their very best to accommodate all those preferences. So now let's talk a little bit more about Major Plus. As Ryan mentioned earlier, I want to share some more exciting details about this Worcester State opportunity. Once you've chosen your first major at Worcester State, you will then identify another area of study. It could be a second major, a minor. To put it simply, Major Plus is 2 programs in 4 years with endless opportunities. To graduate from Worcester State, you do need to earn a specific amount of credits. Major Plus will help you plan out each of those credits in a thoughtful and calculated way. You and your academic advisor will tap into your interests and your passions to enhance your first major along with your plus. You'll spend the summer and fall exploring all the possibilities of what your plus might be. The Academic Success Center will host events and engagement opportunities to help you along the way. By the end of your second semester at Worcester State, you will have identified a few of those areas that you're going to study further. Maybe your first major is business and you have an interest in English, or you're a psychology major who loves history, or a criminal justice major who wants a little background in computer science. We'll work with you early and often, so each class that you take is efficiently leading to this dual expertise. I'd like to also share another unique opportunity with you all today. This summer, Worcester State is offering a free online summer course to all first-year students. Lancer Learning will begin on July 12th and will run for 7 weeks in an online format. The goal of this course is to help all new students prepare for their first semester at Worcester State by learning about college expectations and how to be successful in your first year. The course is also supported by current Worcester State students, so you'll have an opportunity to learn from your future peers. A mailing has been sent to your home, and your academic advisor will also be sharing information with you about this opportunity. Remember, the deadline to enroll is June 14th. We can't wait to meet you and help guide you and mentor you through your first year. I have to say that watching students succeed academically and complete their degree is what I enjoy the most. The day I get to watch each of you walk across the stage at graduation is truly the best part of my job. As Joe said, we hope to see you on campus soon. Please stay in touch. My staff or I can answer any questions that you have. And believe me, you will not go wrong in choosing Worcester State.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, President Maloney. What I'd like to do next is sort of cover the next steps in enrolling. So hopefully you're excited. You've learned a lot about what a fantastic university Worcester State is and how committed we are to helping you achieve your educational goals. I'm going to cover the next steps to enrolling, but while I'm doing that, we also would love the opportunity to answer any questions that you have. This session today is intended to be a little less formal, maybe than some of our other presentations that you've sat in on. We purposely didn't have a PowerPoint because we wanted you to be able to see us and connect with us. So if you or your family members that are viewing with you have any questions, please feel free to send those over utilizing the chat, and we'll be happy to answer as many questions as we can. In terms of next steps to enrolling, so really the whole process starts by submitting your admission deposit. Many of you indicated earlier that you've already made that commitment, so congratulations on that decision. If you haven't committed yet, but you are ready to do so, it's pretty easy to do. You just pay your admissions deposit. You can either send us a check in the mail or you can very easily do it online. And if you go to our welcome website, you'd be able to find the link to pay your admissions deposit online. The deadline to deposit is May 1st, so certainly you've got a few more weeks to figure it out. But as soon as you pay that admissions deposit, that's really the first step in kicking off the enrollment process here at the university. Additionally, the next thing that you want to be sure that you're doing regularly is checking your Worcester State email. You were sent login credentials in your accept letter. We will resend those credentials to you when you pay your admissions deposit. But once you pay your admissions deposit, all of the wonderful offices at Worcester State that help to support students are going to be communicating directly to you to your Worcester State email account. So many of you have your own personal account that you used when you applied. But once you pay your deposit, we start utilizing your Worcester State email account. So you want to make sure you set up that Gmail account. And again, the login credentials were sent to you in your accept letter, and we will resend those to you when you pay your admissions deposit as well. You want to have your financial aid in line, and you want to be accessing the financial aid self-service portal so you can see the status of your award or any missing documents to make sure that you have your finances in order. Again, Ryan's going to be going through the process of how to utilize the financial aid self-service portal in our next session if you're not familiar already. But you have access right now as an accepted student with your login credentials to be able to access your financial aid information online. So you want to make sure you have your finances in order as well. Again, Tammy's office is going to be sending you that schedule questionnaire to help build your classes for the fall semester. So again, be checking your Worcester State email so you can see that email from Tammy's office and complete that schedule questionnaire. You want to be on the lookout for information about new student orientation. We are intending to have a one-day in-person program, multiple dates this summer for new student orientation. There'll also be some on-demand virtual content that students will be able to complete over the course of the summertime as well. I know our orientation leaders and the staff in the orientation office are excited to welcome you to campus as well and help you get oriented and learn all about how you can be successful at Worcester State, in addition to a lot of other offices as well. So information about orientation is on our website, but it will also be emailed to you as well. So a lot of exciting things are going to be happening over the course of the next few weeks as you make your decision and as you begin the enrollment process at Worcester State. Please know we are here to support you. If you have questions, we are all working. Please contact our offices, contact us by phone or by email. Again, our campus is open, so you're more than welcome to come to campus too. If you still need to take an opportunity to come and tour the campus, we are offering tours in the afternoons, Monday through Friday. We're also open on many additional Saturdays for the next few weeks as well. We'd love to have you come and take a tour of campus if you haven't physically been able to do so yet. A lot of great information is available on our website as well. There's on-demand content. You can watch a brand new congratulations video that's on our welcome website. There's a video on Major Plus as well. Remember the coupon to the bookstore so you can order your online Worcester State clothing. And you're going to get a free t-shirt as well. If you haven't gotten one already for attending another accepted student event, by attending today's session, we're going to mail you an exclusive Worcester State t-shirt in the mail as well. So you can look forward to receiving that probably sometime next week. So again, hope you enjoyed this morning's presentation. Before we end, though, we're going to go ahead and take a few questions. So continue to send those through the chat if you have questions that you need help with answering. But this, for the most part, concludes our formal remarks. So I'm going to take a minute to kind of scroll up while I was talking to start where we are with the question. So Ariana asked a question: if orientation was 1 day or 2 days. And Tammy, I know you work very closely with our orientation office, so I'm not sure if you were able to provide some greater clarity on what orientation will look like this summer.
Yeah, great question. So orientation will be happening in person this June. Super excited to start to see students on campus. There'll be about 8 sessions to choose from, and at each session, there will be about 100 of your classmates there. It is a 1-day program. And then what we'll do is a virtual program that starts in July, and you'll get more information about that. Signups for the possible 8 days in June will be coming very soon, and you'll get a mailer about that. So just hang tight, but plan to come to campus for 1 day in June with your peers to participate in orientation.
Great, thank you. Julie has a question of specifically about volleyball, but I think I'm going to generalize it a little bit just around fall sports, and maybe President Maloney might be able to answer the question in terms of what the plan may look like for fall athletics. Julie, if you've got a pen and paper, you want to make note. We have a virtual session in any potential student athlete on Wednesday, April 21st. At 5 p.m. The staff from our athletics office, the varsity athletic program, as well as intramurals and fitness, will be offering a virtual session for you to learn all about varsity athletics, fitness, and wellness here at the university. That's going to be a virtual session on Wednesday, April 21st at 5 p.m. So you want to make note and possibly attend that if you're available. But President Maloney, if you don't mind speaking generally about what the athletic program will look like in this fall.
Thanks, Joe. We are part of a statewide university conference, MASCAC conference. We compete primarily against the other state universities, but of course throughout probably other schools throughout New England. I'm happy to announce that we as a conference voted to allow our spring season to happen this spring. So our spring athletes right now, baseball, softball, women's lacrosse, track and field, men's and women's golf are all participating, playing, competing this spring. While the conference has not made a final decision on the fall right now, all signals, all signs are that we will be competing in the fall. So our volleyball, football, men's and women's soccer, cross country, men's and women's golf, and tennis, I expect will be competing in a traditional way. We will, as I said earlier, though, continue to blend in safe return protocols, making sure that we're keeping our student athletes safe moving forward. I expect a conference announcement to happen before the end of this spring semester. So we'll keep on the lookout for something that comes out probably at the latest mid-May. But I do expect and anticipate fall athletics, winter athletics. If any of you are on the call who play winter sports, I expect to be competing there as well in a full intercollegiate way.
Great, thank you. Caitlin was asking if the academic sessions that were offered this past Wednesday and Thursday were recorded. Unfortunately, they were not. The way that the sessions were presented didn't allow themselves to be recorded in a good way. But please contact our office. We have a sort of a repository of previous academic sessions that have been recorded, and we can also connect you with the department chair or with a student in your major if you have questions that you need answered as part of your academic exploration here at Worcester State. So Caitlin, please feel free to email our office, admissions@worcester.edu, and we'll go ahead and get you connected and get you that information. Madison is wondering, when you pay your deposit, when do you start choosing classes? So Tammy, I'll ask you to answer that one.
Great, thanks again, Joe. So if you have already deposited, there's about 300 students that will be emailing on Monday, and they will start the process. You'll get an email from a very specific person. That will be your academic advisor through your first year. Filling out the schedule questionnaire starts the process, and the advisor will begin building the schedule in a few weeks. And so they will email you every step of the way. Once the schedule is built, they'll show you how to log in and view it, and then you'll both have a conversation about the classes that they chose for you. Sometimes it's very specific because of your major, and other times you do have lots of options. So you'll work directly with that person once the schedule is built. If you are depositing in the very near future, it does take us about a week to send you that very first email. We, track your deposit, we get your email set up, and then we send that to you. So that does happen pretty quickly. But we'll begin building first year schedules probably the week of April 26th. So, very early and very exciting. So happy to answer any questions about the schedules though.
Great, thank you. Next question from Aiden. Aiden's wondering if all students need a COVID vaccination before the fall. President Maloney, would you like to take that one, or Ryan?
Sure. Thanks, Joe. Right now, the expectation is that no, there will not be a requirement for students to have a vaccination for the fall. This is a hotly reviewed topic across higher education across the country. By now, many of you have seen other colleges take a stance. I think most notably BU and Northeastern have recently come out and said that they will be requiring their students to be fully vaccinated. We're going to continue to monitor the situation, but right now, as things stand, we do not expect students to be required to get vaccinated to return in the fall. I would, however, use the opportunity to say that I do think it is it is a smart decision to consider being vaccinated. Part of how we have kept the university campus community healthy and safe this past year is by applying good common sense safety protocols that have allowed our campus to come back this current academic year in a safe, secure manner. Our infection rate on campus has been very, very low. 1% or less of our students have had the COVID virus. We do anticipate that those safe protocols will be kept in place, but we would like to, again, expand our interactions in person. We'd like to expand the size of our in-person classes, our co-curricular activities in person. And one of the smartest ways, safest ways that we can do that for all of us is to be vaccinated. That includes, I'm saying this even to myself, our faculty and staff, as well as we certainly want to make sure that we are a healthy campus community and keeping the city of Worcester healthy, our community healthy as well. But I don't right now expect that we'll be requiring the vaccine.
Great, thank you. Next question is from AG, wanting to know if we can tour campus in person and also look at the residence halls this month. And yes, the answer is we are hosting on-campus, in-person campus tours Tuesday through Fridays. They're in the afternoons at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. And we are including our residence hall room. During the week, we show a room in Dowden Hall, which is typically where our new first-year students live. On Fridays, we actually add in Sheehan Hall as well, which is our newest residence hall. And then on Saturdays, we're open a few Saturdays in April, and the last Saturday we'll be open is May 1st. We show Dowden and Sheehan on those tours as well. We do require that you register in advance for a tour. They are by appointment only. They are limited in size, again, because of our safety protocol. So we do ask that you register in advance for that visit, but we are hosting in-person on-campus tours led by a current Worcester State student. The campus tour typically lasts about an hour and 15 minutes, depending upon how many residence hall rooms you're seeing as part of your tour. It is mostly a walking tour of campus where you get a good sense of the campus layout and the buildings. But we are very excited to be able to welcome students onto campus to take a campus tour. So please, you can go to our website, worcester.edu/visit, and that will link you over to our calendar where you can select the date and time that works best for your schedule for that campus visit. Next question has to do with what time does school start and end in the fall for our first year? And when you start your major, how many hours a week how many hours would that be in a week? So a little bit of an academic calendar type question in there. And then Tammy, probably a little bit of a student wondering sort of, how much of their schedule is comprised of courses that are in their major.
I'll take both. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the calendar. So classes will start on Thursday, September 2nd, and the semester ends, the last day of classes is December 9th. So I hope that answered that question. In terms of a student's schedule, so that's 15 weeks, and classes usually run either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, or they potentially run on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can expect to be in class, in person, in class for one class for about 3.5 hours a week. The work that's associated with that homework could be 9 to 10 hours. So that's one course. If you're asking specifically about your major, guess what? I'm gonna make you have to wait. I'm gonna let your academic advisor take care of that next week. I really, really want to encourage you when you all get your emails, if you've deposited on Monday, make my staff work next week. Ask them tons of questions. That's why we assign you so early, so you can have somebody specific to ask very specific questions. Like I said, I'll answer anything today, but there's some stuff that you can definitely ask them next week. And I think I'm going to jump ahead because somebody did say, I deposited a long time ago and I haven't gotten my email yet. I love that you're excited and I love that you're checking your email. That should happen on Monday. Don't check during school. Go to class on Monday, check when you get home. You'll be all set.
Great, thank you. There was a question about a virtual tour. We do have a virtual tour up on our website. You can get there from the admissions page. You can get there off the accepted student page. You can get there from our Congrats Day welcome page. So hopefully, Ben, maybe I can ask for you to send the link to the virtual tour, but it is a great experience. It's narrated by 2 of our current students and gives you a full immersive experience both on campus and inside some of our buildings as well. So please enjoy that. Ariana is wondering when the housing and roommate deadline is. So for new students, when you pay your admission deposit as a resident student, you would pay your housing deposit at that same time. Again, once you submit your admission deposit, you'll then be contacted by the Residence Life office with information on how you can complete your housing questionnaire and do a roommate assignment. Again, sort of shameless plug for a program that we'll be offering in 2 weeks on Wednesday, April 21st. So if you're interested in living on campus and you want more information from Residence Life, on Wednesday, April 21st at 4 p.m., we're going to have a session with the staff from Residence Life and Housing, who will cover all of the process of living on campus and what you need to know about us getting signed up for housing assignments and roommate assignments as well. So again, Wednesday, April 21st at 4 p.m. And the link for that session is on our Congrats Day welcome page. Let's see. So a question, maybe Tammy, if you wouldn't mind, a student interested in looking at the possibility of maybe taking some classes online. So I know generally speaking, the majority of classes at Worcester State are in person, but maybe a student that might be looking for a little bit more flexibility with some in-person instruction and some online classes. What might that look like for a first year or transfer student?
Yeah, as President Maloney already said, we are looking for a very in-person fall 19 type of schedule. However, we always have had online and blended courses as an option for students. It really does depend on your major and what we're offering. But on that schedule questionnaire, there is plenty of opportunity for you to share that with us, to let us know that you're looking to do online courses. And then that academic advisor will tailor it to exactly what you're looking for. The schedule questionnaire, you could just click a couple buttons and you're going to get a schedule. But there is, I think, probably roughly about 15 questions that we engaged with to really get some information from you. And then at the very end, it says, what else do we need to know? And so at that point, you could share with us that you're looking for an online schedule. I've asked my staff too to give you a phone call if they're looking for some clarification on what maybe you said on your schedule questionnaire. So don't be surprised if you get a phone call from one of the staff too. But yeah, that's definitely a possibility. And please share that with us on the schedule questionnaire.
Great. Next question, Ryan, I'm trying to throw you one. You're being so patient there, but the next question has to do with changing from, if you wanted to change your status, maybe from a commuter to a resident or vice versa. Yes, you have the flexibility to be able to do that. We have capacity in our residence halls. We guarantee housing for 4 years. So if you are a commuter student that would like to live on campus, we are able to accommodate that request. If you have not paid your deposit yet, excuse me, you will contact the admissions office and we'll make that change for you. If you've already paid your deposit, then we will work with the Residence Life office to change your status from commuter to resident and have you submit the additional deposit that's required as a resident student. And if you're a resident student that wants to change to a commuter, again, you can start off by contacting the admissions office and we can help to facilitate that change for you. Let's see, so. Rolling. I saw a question about parking. So maybe I'll throw that one too. I know the president loves to talk about parking. Maybe we'll throw it to Ryan or anyone who's available. I could even answer that one. But typically freshman parking on campus, parking usually isn't available for first year students. That's usually a permit is available for students starting in their sophomore year. We really don't find that first year students need a car on campus in their first year. If there's a circumstance that would require you to have to need a car, you would work with our parking office to apply for a parking permit. It is on a relatively limited basis, so I don't want to set up any expectations that it's sort of available for everyone. But again, mostly everything that you have on campus or that you would need on campus is available or easily accessible off campus as well. So typically first year students wouldn't be allowed to have a car on campus unless obviously you're commuting, and then you would get a commuter parking pass. But there is a process in place to be able to apply for a parking permit if you have an extenuating circumstance.
Joe, if I could just add to that, thank you very much for the question and thank you for the answer, Joe. For students that are commuting to campus, of course, all of our commuting students have free parking on our campus. Additionally, many of our residential students have free parking provided by the campus. The comments that Joe was making was specifically about brand new freshman or first year residential students are usually restricted from having a vehicle on campus. That is possible to be considered on a case-by-case basis if there is some type of circumstance relative to employment or internships or various things that a vehicle may be needed for. But generally speaking, your freshman level residential students typically do not have a vehicle on campus.
Great, thank you. Ashley was wondering if you can bring more than one guest on a campus tour. Yes, I mean, certainly we don't want to turn away any family members. We try to limit it to one guest just because tours are capped at about 10 guests per tour. So just to make sure we can accommodate as many students as possible, we ask that you consider bringing only one guest, but if you'd like to bring more than one guest, they're certainly welcome to join for the campus tour as well. Thank you for that question. Question about commuter passes. I'm pretty sure those are mailed out over the summertime, usually about 2 weeks or so before classes start in August. Once your schedule has been built and you've got a schedule established, the parking office will mail commuter passes home to students to the students' mailing address. Let's see, students are living on campus. So move-in day, again, good question for our residence life staff, but typically the move-in process happens about usually the weekend or so before the first day of classes. It's a extremely well orchestrated process. You will be assigned a date and time in which you'll be able to move into your residence hall room, but and you'll get information obviously sent to the student in advance of that time. But there's also the residence life staff is very accommodating. They're willing to send dimensions of the room. Potentially sometimes over the summer, they allow students to come to the campus to be able to see the room in case you want to plan out, what color bedding you're going to get and all that, and the decorations and whatnot. But you'll have information that will be sent to you about the move-in process with a date and time for your move-in. And then again, it usually happens over the weekend before the first day of classes. Let's see. And I think we're pretty much nearing the end. A student that commented about the housing request. Again, an opportunity for us to connect you with your with the residence life staff. So you're welcome to email our office. I'll ask Ben to put our email address in the chat. So if anyone has any follow-up questions or maybe something that you weren't comfortable asking over the chat, again, we want to make sure that all of your questions are answered. So please email the admissions office and we will get right back to you as quickly as we possibly can. And again, check out our Congratulations Days website. We have lots of great programming happening the week of April 20th. Many of you are going to be on school vacation, but hopefully you'll be able to find time to join us for some of those sessions in the afternoon. Again, with much of a focus on student life, student affairs, and ability and opportunities to connect with our current students as well. And again, for any families and students that are interested in learning more about the financial aid process, we're going to have a little bit of a break, just a few minutes, but please come back and join us. It's a different Zoom link, which we've sent through the chat, and it's also available on our Congrats Days website. But that Zoom link you'll want to end. We're going to end this meeting and then jump into the new Zoom meeting for the financial aid session that's starting at 10 o'clock. So it looks like we've addressed all your questions. It's been a great morning. I was really excited to see all the questions come through. And hopefully this morning's session helped you learn a lot more about us and how just excited we are to welcome you as new students on our campus. So with that, we're going to wrap things up. Please enjoy this beautiful day. And we certainly look forward to welcoming you to Worcester State this fall. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in a few minutes for financial aid. Bye-bye.
Thank you.